Shinji's life choices stress me out sometimes, okay? 大家好, hi guys, it's Janae and welcome back to my channel, and today I am restarting my reactions for Under the Skin Season 2, and as you can see by the fact that this is about 3 hours long, this is going to be a compilation style video. It's still going to be me reacting to every episode, but it's just going to be put together. So you can find the reactions for episode 2 to 10 in this one, and then part 2 and 3 will contain 11 to 19 and 20 to 28, and you can expect them to go up on the same day every week. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. I'm trying something new with this. I did it with Gentry Chow and it seemed to work really well, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. And generally, just a heads up, I'm not planning to do such long shows as a rule for this format, just because it's not sustainable for me, but because I love the shows so much, I did want to do this. The timestamps for each of the individual episodes will be below, so if you want to watch episode 2 and 3 now and come back for 4 later, you can do that. So hopefully that will make it easier for you guys. And also, if you haven't checked out episode 1 yet, or you want to go back and watch season 1's reactions first, the links for that will be up here and at the end of the video as well. I hope you will enjoy it, and without further ado, let's get into it.
是我杀的他们。
Okay, that's a surprisingly easy confession. Again, my claustrophobia could never. But would she be wearing lipstick? Okay. That's so creepy. Okay, so it was quite subtle, and then afterwards, after all of them were already dead, she drew on the faces. And I mean, this is the kind of crime, if you didn't have Shinji, I don't think there would be a hope of you trying, like, figuring out who did it. Wait, you actually used your fingers and they didn't find fingerprints?
钻石之心永存。在这个世界上，大多数人。
Oh wait, I think they said they did find fingerprints, but they couldn't find it in the database to match it against anyone.
所以说你是为了陈琴杀的人是吧？
我是他的该死，还能侮辱哥哥，
Intense.
还要彻底毁了他。杀人偿命嘛。
Interesting how fascinated Shinji is by their expressions.
让第二天收拾垃圾的清洁工人把你给带出去呢？为什么？
Because she wanted to be in the same room as her burger.
我是为了。
Damn, this is intense. This very much does feel like a solo act though, so I don't know how they improvise that, but... There was so much said in that.
我在原招娣身上发现了2种截然不同却又融合在一起的状态。
Yeah, like, unfortunately, it does feel like it's possible that Qin, is that the idol's name? That he might have encouraged her a little bit, and she was all too happy to do it for her idol. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it would make everything make so much more sense. Use your words.
陈老师，
我找到一些线索， 嫌疑人袁招娣的手机里，几乎各项社交媒体都关注了陈琴的账，经常会对陈琴发布的动态评论。陈琴从来没有回应过他，但我们发现，两个人竟然有对方的微信，这是我打开的一些聊天记录，个别用词情绪激动，甚至提到了想自杀。看到袁招娣的个人情绪被陈琴牵着走。
但这些聊天记录里没有一句可以作为陈情唆使袁招娣去杀人的直接证据。
That is upsettingly clever.
袁招娣你认识吗？我昨晚做梦了，梦见他们都死了，醒来竟觉得是个美梦。不认识。
Damn, that kind of a conversation with a fan who clearly idolizes you and do not see the two of you as equals. Not good, really not good.
袁招娣，我们刚刚找到了，他承认你的3个队友就是他杀的。
What are you seeing?
他杀人是不是你教唆的？我都说了，他是我的一个粉丝。如果你没有足够的证据，可以
You're
直接
not
起诉。
at all as indignant about it as you were at the start, which I feel gives a little bit away.
这就是狡辩。我再配合你们调查吧，警察同志。
Oh, dude.
让我来。
What are you about to do?
投其所好，各取所需。营造爱的氛围是个技术活，粉丝脑补才有流量。
Yeah, but it's generally not professional to be airing out all your grievances about your members to fans. That's just not how you do it. And if you're a child actor, you would think you would have a clearer understanding of those boundaries. So I'm struggling to buy his excuses.
于是就不顾一切的要替偶像去解除这个痛苦。
我不知道，
Oh, that smile.
警察同志。陈奇，你说自己是偶像，偶像应该是别人崇拜的榜样，
而你呢，袁招娣一生都赔进去了。你有想过他会是怎样的结局吗？
No, because he seems content to do anything about himself.
他会被判死刑。
I hope he's lying. Because the problem with this is he might now feel remorse, but is the remorse enough to confess he did it? Because if she is gonna face a death sentence because of murdering people, wouldn't he also then face it? So I think his survival instincts is gonna keep him from confessing, even if nothing else would.
他这个眼泪比较是眼。
Yeah, the previous remorse seems fake, while this one actually seems real. Interesting. Okay. Did you? Was one of the stones from his outfit found at the murder scene? Like, what's going on?
对，就是他。
Okay, what does that mean? Will that somehow help prove the case? He lied about having
我
taken
恢复了3名
drugs.
死者的手机，发现了这个视频。
Is it possible that it's not that he lied about taking drugs, it's that he inhaled it while murdering them? Maybe? Is that a possibility? I don't know.
这只能说明他被迫吸毒，并不能证明他唆使袁招娣杀人。
Yeah.
我有一个办法。
I mean, the abuse that he implied from them, considering, like, when he took off his shirt and showed those bruises, that would have already kind of, in my opinion, been a potential motive for murder.
我们在你家里找到了一只手套，
Which
和舞台
means
新
he
娘人偶的手
interacted
套
with
花
her.
纹一致。
第二个，能理解、明白我的人。
This is a beautiful drawing, by the way.
你认为
跟年纪大的人分享生活的乐趣，跟年纪小的人分享成长的烦恼，投其所好， 各取所需。
Oh, that's clever.
技术活。
才不是。我们有爱。
可我看不出来。他对。
I'm scared because I'm scared she might lash out to Shinyi because coming to terms with something like that is not an easy thing emotionally.
他不爱你，你有什么证明？
I don't think that's the kind of thing that they can prove with the DNA test, unfortunately, but that's something.
刚才，我演的，
Yeah.
你演的也太好了，吓死我了。跟你学的。
Yeah, no, that was very Ducheng coded.
他们在共同掩盖一个早已有过的承诺，这是共谋。
I mean, yeah, technically, but I still hesitate to qualify it as that considering the emotional power he has over her.
他又怎么知道那3个人会在什么时候失去行动能力呢？
Because he
难道案发当晚，袁招娣有陈琴的协助？
facilitated.
我要通过监控拍到的影子，抓住陈琴在这里停留的原因。
What? Is the monkey gonna act as, the girl?
想等。
How long is he gonna have to wait there? Oh my goodness.
好了，杜成，你现在蹲下。
Oh, he's using the shadows. That's smart.
杜成，
要干嘛？
跪下。
Oh, is he thinking
跪
that
好了。
he proposed to her like that?
好，现在
You have a very wait
头朝
what?
你的方向，把那只猴子头朝你的方向放在地上。
Oh, he's trying to see what position they potentially were in when they were kissing.
对呀。
Were they like pulling a Spider-Man in a sense?
现在吻那只猴子。
啊？
It has to be a relatively creepy-looking monkey at that.
小蛋可不是说了吗？陈琴吻了他，你帮我模拟一下。
You don't actually have to kiss. You just need to lean in and pretend to. That's so funny. But you have a very patient partner, to be fair. That looks so funny.
吻久一点。
You better hope no one comes in to see this, because otherwise you will not be forgiven. And they will not let it go.
陈琴停留的1分钟，是为了吻小蛋哥。
只有小蛋哥才能告诉我们真相。
Goodness, but getting her to talk is going to be difficult.
我想先给你讲讲这幅画，你想听吗？
想听。
I wonder if he's gonna do some psychological analyzing here.
都是他画里重要的元素，
就像我和哥哥一样。
你还是没有看懂。
It's interesting that it kind of looks like the painting of the goat in space, I think, or in A Starry Night. I can't remember what the title of it is, but it was mentioned in Notting Hill.
这幅画也表达了爱情里面的危险关系，就像画中的新郎
Interesting.
那么遥远。
他是这个世界上第一个这么关心我的人。
The question is, how much does he know about her? Because that tells you a lot about how much a person actually cares.
里面，你对妹妹说：“别怕，哥哥保护你。”
She was a fan from long
是
ago.
家里也有人去世吗？但是他们拼命带我走旋转钱。
能赚钱就是有用，多好啊！
Interesting
你别不
perspective.
开心，我给你表演个节目。
Ah. Oh, that's unnerving.
别人都笑呢。
你不能这样，你这叫自残。
Interesting. But this also proves that he knew
他鼓
what
励
she
我
was
走出
capable
原
of.
来的家。
那是你把自己渴望的爱都投射在了他身上，可是陈情并不能代表爱情。
This is so painful because you can see how she could believe it.
因为爱是光明的，爱不会让你拿起屠刀。
That is very beautifully said and a beautiful sentiment. My goodness. And why
为
did
什么要吻我？
Yeah.
还要救我？
Save you how?
前几天不小心磕的。
这一切都是真的，真实的发生了。
I mean,
是不
that is
是？
very specific. I just, again, I don't know if there would be a way to use that to ID him. I don't think it would work.
你才能为他无限付出，最终是为了证明自己是有用的。
Yeah, but again, if your love was equal and mutual, he wouldn't let you take the fall like this. You guys would go down together.
我们还在现场的长颈鹿玩偶里发现了血液，上面有你的 DNA。
There we go.
腿上的伤就是那个时候留下的吧？你们是共谋。
Yep. I mean, there is. You would have to stretch very far to find an excuse for why your blood is inside that.
我第一次知道，原来吸毒是这种感觉。
是他们逼的你吗？
他们逼着
Oh.
我吸这几口。
我要杀了他们！
Oh, that's when he had the bright idea, isn't it? Because it shows that he
如果你
was
决
well
定
aware.
了，就在你的演出里，给我一场婚礼吧。
Didn't the performance happen after they were already dead?
我和节目编导争取，策划了婚礼主题的舞台表演，在微博上发布了预告。
Oh, okay. This is intense. Damn it. This is a very rough first case. So you abused those feelings instead?
我想知道，袁招娣对你意味着什么？
You bring her
他是唯一
freedom?
懂我的观众，他活，我才能活；他死，我也就死了。
Okay, so he actually genuinely does.
自私和懦弱，越是真。
行了，错了就是错了。
Sometimes we need Yu Chung to just ground our emotions. Because I am much more in the camp of the other two where I'm like feeling very sad for him.
凉的没？水不热，就拿温水泡的。那这个我吃了。
Like if you're not gonna appreciate it, I'll eat it then.
还有人接我一下，来来来。
I'm so glad to see so many of the cast reappearing. Oh! Wow, that episode felt quick. Okay, so that's the end of yet another episode, and amazing, like so tragic. But I have to say, one thing that I really appreciated and that I saw a lot of other viewers appreciate in the first season was the focus on kind of the abuse of women in various different forms, or the disrespect of women. There was very much a focal point on how certain women are abused into a point of crime, or you know, things like that. What I found so interesting is how not only I'm glad that they're kind of continuing with that trend, at least from this first episode and first case, but also how they managed to keep putting it into different perspectives, into different forms of the same message. I really appreciated that it seems like the show and the showrunners really has a very clear identity, and I just find the cases very interesting. It was so funny with Do-chung and the monkey and Shinyu. Like, I think that might be my favorite lighthearted moment from this episode. It was just so great. And again, we see Do-chung just following along despite not being happy about it. I love that. I am a little bit nervous because there was a kind of like post-credit scene at the end of season 1 that I've kind of like not yet talked about since we started season 2's reactions, and like it kind of potentially implies that there's a dark side to Shinji. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but that's kind of what I drew from that, and I'm hoping that I'm understanding that wrong and that we don't have to worry about Shinji, because like he's been through a lot, but he's overall such a like bright part of the show as a whole. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, because it's very clear that he is not, you know, naive or anything like that, or like super happy-go-lucky or anything, but I like what we've seen of Shinji since the start of season 1 up until here, and I don't want him to kind of secretly be morally grey or even black, but we'll see. I have faith in the show. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Not him having a bike rack at this point. The leaps and bounds we've grown. Guys. I can't deal. You know, it's the quiet domesticity for me. It's the small things. Not him having drawn the card there on the back. Okay, I'm fine. I'll stop. The amounts of implications that we're getting in these few seconds. Please tell me that wasn't paint.
你这什么酸奶？怎么这个味道？
这是我。
Sir, I really hope that you're not gonna end up in the hospital.
能喝吗？
你验了？
Very much so, yes.
需要去医院吗？要不我问回龙院。
It's kind of hilarious. They seem so used to chaos. I don't know.
怎么样，搬了新家，能睡好了吗？
昨天晚上小红裙又来找我了。
Considering what we've seen so far, he's probably quite used to recognizing Shinji's tics by now.
我应该相信我的感觉的，我为什么没有抓住他？
Oh. The sad thing is, I think every cop goes through this at least once in their life, and I'm assuming they never caught the killer.
我一定要把这个魔鬼画出来，这对我来说更重要。
See, I like how they kind of complement each other in a sense, because Do-chung is very no-nonsense, sees things quite clearly in black and white, and obviously sometimes it's a detriment, but I think the way that he uses that worldview of his is oftentimes in this line of work a strength, because it helps him stay focused. So I think it's good that he's there to help keep Shinji focused in the moments where Shinji's emotional intelligence can sometimes like lead to his detriment. But then again, Shinji brings the emotional intelligence, the like thought-provoking, deep moments where he gets to see past certain things because he isn't looking at the obvious.
以上就是这位画家的近期作品。这届联合画展的6位青年画家。
Sorry, for a moment that looked like the same art gallery that they used in ACI Mystery, but I don't think it is.
他的作者一样，是一样的。
Oh no. Please don't kidnap Shinji. The moment there's a new character introduced, I immediately get suspicious, and there's no doubt that he doesn't know who
可
Shinji
是啊，
is.
他却用理性的边界束缚住了自己的感知力。
Oh, he definitely knows who Shinji is.
不过通过他的话，我能读懂的，他是个天才。
Interesting.
如果他没做警察，也可能是个犯罪天才。
I wouldn't like hearing that said about. Nope. That very much feels like a criminal sizing Shinji up. I don't know. Please tell me this is something from the past and not the next murder case, because my heart's already breaking. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to mute this because my limits very quickly approaches when animals are involved. Oh, go! Oh. Yuck. Very grim looking painting. But I kinda, even though I'm kinda scared, I kind of like it because Shinji's emotion has always been a very big focus point of the show. That's a very intense shaking.
大姨，
Interesting. So maybe the shock when he saw her was not so much like in the previous episode. I think it might have been episode 1. I mentioned wondering if she was the girl that he saw in the dream because I thought maybe it was like a flashback mixed with some fake memories or like, you know, some dream aspects. So I thought maybe this was her having grown up. But is it possible that Shinji recognized some aesthetic feature that is a commonality between her and the girl who died, and potentially this girl that we just saw die?
没有用的，都傻掉。
Did you also come into contact with her when you were young?
我们的工作是找到真相，抓住凶手，
Well,
而不是社会调查。
that it's about to connect to one of your cases, though.
我要画的是心。
I mean, we've seen that consistently since the first season. It's just the first time he's put words to it. What an interesting painting. The cinematography of the show is like severely underrated in my opinion.
受害人的信息确认了，叫刘强，37岁，工作是物业经理。
家庭情况呢？
他4年前
Interesting.
离异，
但里面画的东西看不懂。
Looks like a job for Shinji.
行。哦，对了，刚才我在那边看到一个摄像头，距离案发地30米，但坏了。
So he used the same phrasing as Shinji from what I remember, like the Chinese sounded the same. It makes me wonder if he was separated from his son for 4 years and posted the missing child notice because his son disappeared from his mother's care, and like the mother didn't want to report him for some weird reason, so he used the only photo that he still had of him, which was from when he was 3 years old. That doesn't feel likely, but I'm struggling to think what other explanation there might be. Did he just describe himself?
空气湿润，薄雾重重，四周安静。
We're going into like the hypnotism side of things here.
他是经过训练过，但是就是没练出来。
It's a very interesting kind of
速
profile.
度跑得挺快的呢。
进。
I'm curious why that affected his.
就按照你的画像，我们去了案发附近老头经常锻炼钓鱼的一个河边，就发现他了。
So it's possible that it was someone he saw while out and about, and now he's confused the two faces, or he's deliberately conflated them.
就凭这个，怎么着？
只有这。
I want to see this. Oh. Yeah, that's not a lot of info.
是我先诊断的。
你干什么？
小腿飞升肌和胫骨前肌会比较发达。
Interesting that you just happened to find him.
警察来了！你傻喊什么？警察来了！
Yeah, that is very suspicious.
人呢？
没事吧？没事。他们肯定是一伙的。
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't. Is that the 7-year-old kid that we were looking for? Probably not. Oh, he looks so malnourished. I want to say I wish they would stop because, like, this is only getting them in more trouble, but can you blame them? They're probably not used to being on the good side of the law. Oh, please tell me this is not... Okay. Something sounds alive. Whatever is in there. I'm not prepared for that at all.
让他先审那几个人。
好的，沈队。
是。
His tendency to fall asleep in the car hasn't changed. And then it kind of seems like that's the only time he sleeps well.
我叫二图，哪个取的名？
小庄，马小
What
庄
is this music?
问完了，快点放人。
我们俩一条命。咋的？
Well done, you guys being able to round all of them up.
在方箱里面的零钱，有可能是他沿街乞讨所的。
小鹏什么时候到你们那儿的？
Is it at all possible, and maybe this is me giving them too much of a benefit of the doubt, but is it possible that these kids who were keeping him in a cage were trying to save him and trying to hide him from who actually abused him? Maybe I'm being too optimistic.
小鹏，有位警察叔叔想跟你了解一些情况，你可以叫他杜叔叔。
Oh.
回头还来得及。
你们大人说话都是放屁。
I mean, you'll be one soon, so...
3年，藏我裤裆里了。
你们把小鹏关起来要干什么？
要这玩
5个人铁板一块。
And here I was like trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that there was someone working behind the scenes, kind of either coercing them or that they were trying to get away from.
刘强还在 ICU 昏迷状态。
我们提取了发现小鹏的铁笼上的痕迹，但是检验分析很需要时间。这个小笔记本上是一些奇奇怪怪的凸起的标记，请盲文老师来辨别过，意义不明。纸币面额是以1-2块钱的居多，也有个别大面值的，像是乞讨所得。
越看越像财生者讹。
maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but they mentioned that they thought the bag was from him begging on the streets, the 7-year-old Xiaopeng. If that's the case, did he take the books with him? Or like, was the bag with the Braille book with him when he was kidnapped? Because that's not the kind of thing you just acquire while, you know, trying to survive on the streets, I don't think. Oh. I wonder if he's gonna give that to him to try and get Xiaopeng to identify them through what he might have felt when touching them. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but maybe while he was fighting them off, he got in their face and then he would maybe know. I don't know. Ignore what I'm saying, I'm talking nonsense apparently.
小人。
小鹏真聪明。
Stop, I melt with scenes like those.
小人，这个呢？再摸摸看。
嘴巴大大的小人。
嘴巴大大的小人啊，那小鹏
Do you know
认
someone
不
like
认识
that?
这个嘴巴大大的小人啊？小鹏好像认出来这是谁了。
Fear might make him deny it.
他像不像让小鹏不开心的人啊？
Is that his dad? I hope not.
但当我再追问下去的时候，他就不说话。
Who was he found with in the
又试着让
cage?
小鹏听下原来的声音。
查我！你们大人说话都是放屁。
I mean, that's a pretty visible reaction.
等你爸爸伤好了，就可以。
他没有打我，你走开。
你告诉叔叔，你说的坏人到底是谁啊？
Sorry, okay, sorry, I just, like, we're in a very serious mood right now, and I feel so bad for this kid. But also, like, the scene is kind of getting to me just a little
是
bit.
他，那就不是他。那
他的眼睛外面有壳，
Shell? Glasses?
你说的是？
Goodness!
鼻孔
Sorry.
有这么粗。
哇，这么粗！
Oh, you can be so glad you have a Shani, because, like, this is so interesting. You can really see how Shini's teacher qualities come through in moments like these, because he's so patient and he's so careful with how he phrases things and how he kind of like helps lead Xiaopeng into the right direction with things without actually like giving him the answers that he might want.
你摸摸是不是这个人？
是。
Well done, Shini! Damn! But that looks like it might be a woman. Maybe not. Or is that his dad? Like, I don't know why I keep going back to the dad. It's just the fact that he reacted so violently the moment his dad was mentioned. I kind of wonder about it a little bit. But it does kind of seem that we've now gotten the confirmation that the younger guys who are in captivity weren't malicious, potentially. I don't know. Like, that'd be really nice if that kind of thing, you know, the kind of expectation was switched. But yeah, this is a very interesting case already. I'm very nervous about what we've seen Shini struggle with in this episode, and I tend to be more sensitive when it comes to cases dealing with children, so I'm hoping that we don't have too much more of that in the way that we had with the kid and the dog, and you know, that like that. I'm very glad I got to mute that, because I don't want to have that audio stored in my brain. But yeah, just a very interesting episode. I really like how we saw Shini apply his skills in a way that benefited and helped Xiaopeng, and kind of getting to see how something like that would be used from a different angle in a complex circumstance. I'm still very keen because I liked where we ended off the episode, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. Now without further ado, let's get into today's video.
你先按照沈一这张画里的特征去资料库里搜一遍，找找城中村里有没有符合的人。
好。
Damn, every single time I think how far this team as a whole has come, it just makes me so happy.
他们出去以后一定会见的。明白。
That feels a bit risky, but okay. You're way too obvious, sir.
神，这个是什么？
Interesting.
旋钮，这个是微波炉。
Will this help them identify the place that he was kept, maybe?
这个是烧水壶。橘子。
Because if he starts understanding Xiaopeng's way of making notes for himself, then he might be able to glean some clues from it. I'm just thinking back to the girl that died in the previous episode.
图片里的这些颜色。
I would think it would maybe be representative of the days, because it's not a visual clue in the sense of, oh, this is the color of the thing. So it might be tracking something else.
你能告诉叔叔，这本子里画的是什么吗？有矿泉水瓶，还有烧水壶。
你是怎么知道的？
我也不告诉你。这样吧，除非你先告诉叔叔。
电器、矿泉水瓶、塑料。
Materials they made of?
那应该代表的东西的数量。
叔叔，你太聪明了。红色就是很值钱。
值钱？
Interesting. Some kind of robbing code?
明天再拿来还给你，好吗？
好。
I don't know why a robber's code was the first thing to pop into my head. It makes no sense, but okay.
这6种颜色大体上代表了正负2种情绪。
So, who would note those colors down in that way? Because he said he didn't color them, so who would have a reason to? Well, he might have put him there because that's where people are least likely to look. This place is set up, like, very creatively as well. Damn! That's so cool.
这才是云磊和小鹏真正居住过的地方。
Guys, you're so obvious. Like, could you not find a way to blend in just a little bit more? Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely know you. There. This feels planned.
云磊呢？
Yeah, I have a feeling he did this to cause a distraction so he could actually go meet up with the boss. You guys were way too obvious.
尽快出鉴定报告，看到底有没有小鹏被虐待的证据。
不对，
What's wrong?
这小子撺掇了几个兄弟，打了场阵仗浩大的群架，其实是调虎离山，自己早就溜了。而且这个团伙根本没有什么老大，利用技术侦查手段确定云磊的行动轨迹。
好。
Investigation techniques. I'm assuming there was a specific word that maybe the person
喂，
wasn't.
程队，2头的手机信号出现在人民医院，他很有可能去找刘强。
Oh, please tell me you're not going to visit Xiaopeng. Because if you can find him, whoever you're trying to protect him from theoretically could find him as well.
医院环境特殊，行动的时候一定要控制范围，不要引发次生事故。
These are suddenly done. My goodness.
象征着美好的事情，比如胜利、喜庆、团圆。
Interesting. Interesting that reunion is one of the things he listed.
也不知道压岁钱是什么。
That says a lot, considering he was theoretically raised by his dad up until he was kidnapped. Theoretically. It kind of implies that they didn't have a normal lifestyle where at least celebrations were concerned, but it could stretch farther than that.
分别是绿、蓝、紫，是不好的颜色，记住了吗？
I'm assuming he wants to try and use the color identification to see which things might have bad memories for Xiaopeng.
小鹏，这个人是不是虐待过你啊？
看这个时间差不多了。
Oh, I'm scared. Look, whatever grievance you have with Liu Cheng, don't you dare take it out on someone just doing her job.
那是妈妈留给我的。快上啊！快上啊！上啊！
还不说，
现在云磊跑到医院去做啥事儿了？
后来是小鹏他爸来了，
他打小鹏，哥为了救小鹏才伤了他的呀。
So even without Xiaopeng's very clear display of distress, if all of them are saying the same thing in very different ways, that leans more towards honesty, whereas if all of them had the exact same story in the exact same way, I would have been more suspicious.
程雷，门开不了，为什么打不开？从外面开的话，必须得断电。
Oh great!
和外面的门是同一条线路。
Can't you guys?
如果要是断电从外面开门的话，
And the problem is, even if you force open the small window there, probably it'd result in a hostage situation or an accidental injury/death if he panics.
什么都不知道，刘强不死，死的就是小鹏。
Okay, but is it as simple as the father will continue abusing his son until he dies, or is someone making you sort out Liu Qing and using Xiaopeng's life as a bargaining chip? Because, I'd like to believe it's as simple as, okay, abusive father, of course they'd be concerned, totally irrational. But with the story, there's oftentimes more to it than at first meets the eye.
我接个电话。
Please keep an eye on him.
喂，
如果强攻的话，这个门打开了，里面中正监护室的门也就打开了。他要对刘强行凶，情况可控。唯一的
Oh,
办
this
法
is a mess.
就是等小鹏来，让我试试。随时准备。
Yeesh. I can see the frustration on Liu Cheng.
上面的颜色都是你后来涂上去的，对吧？
Look at that smile. Oh my goodness.
你看，这是他给你的画像上的色。
And that breaks my heart in a really good way.
他是坏孩子，但是跟他生活在一起很幸福。
Oh my word, break my heart a little bit more, why don't you?
小鹏还在家等你。现在他最担心的是再也见不到他的云磊哥了。
需要。
Yeah, he needs you to not be in prison, basically.
摸摸你的脸吗？
当然可以。
这是脸。
对。
This is so freaking beautiful.
说什么呢？我们不会分开的。
可是。
Hold on. Shinji really knows how to like speak to the poor suspects' hearts. He's like low-key impressed with him.
我的路从我出生的那一刻起就被定死了，我没得选。
I'm not saying it's the same, but let's not forget that Du Cheng himself was kind of going down a bit of a not so savory path before he met the old captain. So I think Du Cheng potentially knows a little bit more than this man, like this kid thinks he does.
像我这种单亲家庭长大又被抛弃的孩子，钱呢？
It's so true.
这样等他长大了，他就能去参加残运会，他能养活他自己。
Oh, this hurts so much.
我还能当他的领跑员。
And I mean, it's very true. Sometimes people find their purpose in helping other people.
小孩。
Probably climbed in there to hide from his dad.
小朋友，别出声。
I honestly don't know how people don't cry when they have to deal with.
你摸摸四周，结实吗？你晃一晃。
The cage was a protection.
去你妈的手！你要抛弃我，是不是？
The irony. Oh, he can't even help. Oh, that's where. Oh, that's how he was injured. This man was fully willing to murder someone. So actually he should go to jail as well for attempted murder, but I don't think I can't remember, is gonna tell anyone, unfortunately.
小鹏，小鹏别怕。等小鹏长大了，哥哥就回来，好不好？我哭了，我哭了，哭了。
你放心，不会再有任何人能欺负他。
Unfortunately, like, it can't always be guaranteed, considering that he'll most likely, unfortunately, end up in social services. And while there's some great social services programs, there's also some terrible ones, and there's also some people who abuse social service programs, even despite the social service programs themselves being good. So I'm still scared for him a little bit, but let's hope for the best.
Hello.
Look, like I just need some fan fiction about them adopting him. That's all I need. Like, that's so cute. One super fancy car. That's so cute.
在这，你摸摸看，能不能摸出来上面画的是什么？
这是云磊哥哥和我。
哦，
小鹏真聪明。
叔叔，我可不可以摸摸你们的脸？
哦，
我想记住你们的样子。
That's the highest compliments ever. Oh my goodness.
来。
这是脸颊，这是眼睛，这是鼻子，这是嘴巴，这是下巴。
记住了吗？
记住了。
这是什么？有这个标志的都是会保护你的人。
这是警徽。
Really good memory.
沈叔叔，杜叔叔，再见。
Can we just end the show here? Like, I'm happy. I'm so sad, but I'm so happy at the same time.
再见。
Wow, what an episode. I can't help myself. I still ship it. Like, but putting that aside, we'll come back to that. What a beautiful episode. And I'm so happy that they didn't frame Yunlei and his family, like his group of friends. Because as much as life is obviously unfair, no one has equal opportunities. There's always going to be someone who has it better than you and someone who has it worse than you. But I do like the idea of this message of hope that even if you aren't born in a very good situation in life, there's ways to find reasons to keep going and to keep trying to improve yourself. And obviously it's a very idealistic worldview, but I find that dwelling on a pessimistic side of things isn't very helpful for my personal mental health. So I would imagine there are other people who like me who find comfort in hope. And yeah, that arc there at the end was just so beautiful, and the sad reality that even though you would hope parents would have the best interest of their children, it's not always the case. I would love it if we could have Xiaopeng show up in one of the later episodes, just like a casual check-in with him to see if he's still doing well. But maybe it's just because, like, I'm really endeared by him. And yeah, okay, before I get further emotional about the exquisiteness that was this episode, let's just take a hard left into a bit of a lighter topic, which is the amount of shipping moments and like domesticity and tacit understanding and like soft looks between Du Cheng and Shi Yi. Like, I kind of can't deal. They just keep delivering with the bromance, and I'm so happy about it, because I wondered if they would pull back a little bit from that in the second season just because of censorship and everything like that. But no. They're still good about it. I'm so happy. Like, it's a nice bonus to a really great show, and I can't help but enjoy it. Before we do get into it, I just want to mention that I've had some issues with my camera recently where it disconnects from the laptop and then just up and freezes on me. So I'm gonna be like checking in on it periodically. So if you notice strange edits, that's probably why. I hope you guys don't mind too much. Oh, damn. Well, I guess you can be glad that you are a terrible drone operator, because...
可是一点消息都没有，孩子妈妈都快气疯了。不但孩子没找到。
But she immediately seems suspect to me, but let me not judge her that quickly just because of how she displayed her emotion. What I wanted to say is that I doubt that that skull is third order, considering it's been 3 days. Unless someone has done something truly heinous to that child, and I mean like seriously heinous, the decomposition shouldn't be that far along. So
对小静来说，没消息不一定是坏消息。你们放心吧，我们已经联系了专业的救援队，我的搜
why
山。
did you guys wait 3 days to let
能带
the
我们去
police
吗？
know? Isn't it the standard kind of like 24 hours and then you can report it? Obviously, they also say 24 hours is the most crucial time, which is very counterintuitive. Like, oh, you have to wait 24 hours to check that nothing, like that she doesn't just arrive again. But also the first 24 hours is the most crucial. Make that make sense.
这就是那个自杀山谷的坠亡点。谢谢。
This is a very difficult path for a random kid to just happen upon. This feels very, like, obviously very intentional. Are there multiple? As in potentially implying that this is a serial killer's dump site? Yeah, that seems to be multiple. Or, okay, again, it could just be suicide victims, but it's really grim.
怎么样？
Can we just talk about like the coloring and exposition of the show as a whole? It's so visually stunning, even in grim moments.
由于这些大块碎石，这里尸骨碎裂的情况要比城市中高空坠亡的情况更惨烈。
Okay, so that kind of supports the suicide
还能复原死者生前的容貌吗？我试试。
I'm sorry, I still can't get over the amount of trust that he has compared to the first season. Oh, we're really saying, okay, you have to rough it. You're doing it here. We're not transporting the whole corpses. Bones, sorry. Not me constantly being distracted by the clothes. Like, that sweater looks comfy. Maybe don't wash your hands there. No. Like, I feel like that would just make it worse. Wow, what a stark contrast.
其余大人的尸骨都是散落状，可这个小孩的尸骨相对完整，跟大人的情况不太一样。
Interesting.
到死都没舍得松开。
Wow, that just paints a very grim picture. So tiny.
这个怕野山的危险性，让他们帮忙劝返这些游客。没想17
So
个村
funny because
警力有
this
限，
village looks so
很难做
similar
到
to me to
24
one
小
of
时
the
监
ones in
防，
Lost 2.
确实监控不到啊。
哎，村子里有谁对山上的路线很熟悉吗？
有一个人应该清楚，我带你们去找他。
I mean, there would be someone. I feel like there's always that one person who likes to go hiking in any given area of the world.
这个孩子啊叫长风，我就劝了他们2句好话，让派出所领走了。
能跟我们具体说说吗？
Interesting. Okay.
你回去准备一下，搭个帐篷，今天晚上回不去了。啊，走吧。
I should not just be automatically skeptical of anyone, but I am. I've watched too many shows, I think. Yeah. Interesting. Amazing that he just disappeared. And that feels very deliberate. That doesn't feel like the kind of hole that just naturally exists. Not with all the spikes there. Come on. Okay, so if he's not the one that set it up, who is? Because again, that still feels deliberate, even if he wasn't the person who...
说来也怪我自己，我就不应该让妹妹跟着我过来。
He has a very strange demeanor, and I think it's throwing me off because I can't figure out if I should be suspicious of it, or if he just has a very weird way of expressing his grief. Because for me personally, if I went through the trauma of losing my sister because I didn't keep track of all the parties when I was leading them, I would never again be losing track of people. Just because of sheer trauma.
我放的，不想让别人再出事了。
The fact that he has no backup stresses me out so much. Please tell me he has some kind of like location tracker on him. I'm too paranoid for these kinds of things. Oh wow. It's beautiful. Very eerie though, but very beautiful. Don't just go walking forward.
真正的云蒸霞蔚比这更漂亮，是一片花海，漂亮的就像仙境一样。
Maybe don't keep walking at a place where it looks like there's a unexpected drop. And also with the guy behind you. Damn, okay, I mean, fair enough. If it's that far of a fall, I can see why he didn't even want to hope for looking for a sister.
但人各有命，老天要收人，谁也拦不住。
It's a grim thought. Maybe don't be near the cliff. Just for my sake.
Wait,
are you guys not gonna evacuate the bones? Would there not be a point to it?
怎么了？
I wonder if it's that something is bothering him and he can't like exactly say what it is right now, so he's trying to leave himself a reference to ponder later. So you're looking very
今天找到的比较完整的。
我就准备了些吃的。 野猪肉酸菜面，赶紧凑合吃口。
这个放内屋吧，这屋也不合适。
Again, like the paranoid part of my brain is thinking, if he is somehow guilty, and it wasn't just a happy accident that his, well, happy is the wrong word, but like accident that his sister fell down the cliff, he might be snooping to see how much they know. Oh, that must be horrible. Like, I would never in my life want to see the remains of someone that I cared about.
手里还拿着一个海棠果，一直攥着没松手。
I'm glad we're seeing this though, because it does feel very humanizing to him. He's been freaking out a lot, and at least this reaction feels very real. This is very interesting because at face value it doesn't seem like this is a murder case.
我也带着民警进去找过，没想到是掉下面去了。
This feels a bit odd, but okay.
我前脚进屋泡茶，转头人就不见了。我这袋子里还有风帆留下的遗书，没拆，里面应该有他的信息。
Such a good memory of people's faces, even what, like 8 years later?
这个小伙姓郑，打篮球的，浓眉大眼的，挺精神，五官很立体，个头也有点高。
Or is that what he
手
wrote
机留
down
在我
for
这儿，
himself
一
right
台
after
黑色的
things
华为，
happened?
还留了一些胡茬。
The amount of detail that he's able to give is very eerie to me, but okay.
活着多好啊！有什么比活着更重要的吗？
And that's the final woman that they were looking for.
你把这些画像带回去比对吧。杜成，我留下来陪陪他，再聊聊。
Is that a good idea? You have a terrible track record of finding yourself in danger when Du Cheng leaves you alone. Because the thing is, you could be very ungenerous and say he might resent them for seeking death because he lost his sister who wasn't seeking death in the same way. And maybe I shouldn't be trying to make this into a murder when it's not, but he could have been like, oh, you're trying to seek death, then fine, like, here you go, let me make it easy for you, that kind of a thing.
那是我妹妹的房间，她走了以后，我怕睹物思人，
就把她所有东西给烧了。想多了没用，
but you conveniently
生活还是得
forgot
继续。
those very obvious
你说对吧？
pink shoes.
说得对。
Stop.
警官
I'm way too paranoid.
外面的世界，我不太感兴趣。
This music. Yeah, that seems.
哇，他手可巧了，学会织毛衣，就能省下好多衣服钱。
And yet none of your clothing
不能
seems
想到。
to.
来，我们再尝试想象一下。
Okay, Shani, are you about to do something that's gonna endanger you? Let's think carefully about this. I love how they use Shani's
是你和妹妹
visual mind for
你觉得
interesting
如果妹妹还活
storytelling
着，
moments.
这个家
I don't know what that meant, but at the same time, it feels like it shows how much of a big space in his mind is still occupied by his sister. Okay, so that was the end of another very interesting episode, and what I quite like about this episode is I feel very unsure about if there is something more suspicious to his sister's death, or if this is just an episode that is more focused on the grieving of the family that lost someone, though it's not through the kind of like conventional, what we're used to seeing in a crime show method of murder. It was a genuine accident, and there is just a lot surrounding the accident that the police still need to like take care of, regardless of the fact that it is not a murder. So I like that kind of ambiguity and seeing something from a very different angle than we're used to. And as I mentioned, I really enjoy how they managed to incorporate Shinyi's visual perspective of life into every episode in a very unique way, and how he kind of uses that to try and discern people he's talking to's thought processes and things like that. So I really like that. We had a very close call with Du Cheng there that I feel makes me a little bit still suspicious of that guy. The fact that we had no follow-up about why there was a hidden hole in the forest with conveniently sticking out branches, like that wasn't a, oh, this formed very naturally, and it is dangerous, but it's a natural kind of dangerous. It's not planned, shall we say. So one thing that I'm kind of wondering, if we were to go with the theory that there is a lot more to this guy than we currently see, it could be that he set that up in order to lure Du Cheng into not a false sense of security, but kind of like to gain his trust. Look, I just saved you. I saved you twice. Instead of warning you ahead of time about the near drop, I saved you from falling. So it very much feels like it could have been him setting it up to gain Do Chung's trust. And again, that might just be me being very cynical, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to lay out all the things that I'm kind of like currently considering about this man.
你看，就是长风推演的沙盘。
这能说明什么？这个位置特别大。
你这
个看起来像是一个，
是一个祭坛。
Yeah.
以长风的妹妹为中心，周围的海国就好像在为他妹妹献祭。当然，这只是我的一种直觉和推测。
I mean, your intuition has had a pretty good track record so far.
你们这是想吃早饭是吧？我这就给你们准备了。哎，
我能再进来看看吗？
啊，行。
Now you're gonna make him nervous.
请进。
I'm assuming that's when the accident happened. Still very much stuck in the past.
你怎么还在用那么以前的日历啊？
山上时间过得慢，日子久了，人就容易犯糊涂。
That's a very weird excuse, but okay.
那这些标记是什么意思？
都是那些人坠崖的时间。
The way you're smiling about it, sir.
为什么是个叉？
I'm assuming that's the day his sister passed.
屋里茶水都不缺，你请自便。
我能一起去吗？
No, please don't. Please don't expose yourself in that way.
都行。
Do you see that man's knife? I don't even have a pillow with me. I don't like the way the camera is moving. It makes me very nervous. Tell me you're deliberately getting rid of him without telling me. Maybe learn from your previous experience and stick to the tree roots, because surrounding the tree roots is less likely to be areas where you can just fall in.
杜队长，山里边这种毒蛇特别多啊，被咬到可受不了啊。
Again, that thing of instead of warning him, you do something that is threatening to him, makes him need to rely on you, but you don't actually communicate anything until after the fact as an excuse rather than a preemptive explanation.
走吧。
Sir, I really hope you have a tracker on you.
我是警察，现在山上有危险。
那我们好不容易才来的，错过这
Okay, tell them there have been bodies found up here and see how comfortable they are pursuing their virality then.
蒋峰，我刚才劝返了2个登山的女孩，你找人北坡接应一下。
And to make sure that they actually come down like they're supposed to. He says it in very much a way where it's almost encouraging them to pursue the thing that will put them in danger. I'm like, oh, you know, it's not like you can come back tomorrow and I will guide you. It's, oh yeah, no, you'll only be able to come back next year, you know. Oh, it's so sad you missed out on that.
沈毅，
What is that?
你看这个。
Do I want to know? Is it one of the dolls that he made? Which would prove that he knows where his sister is to be found. What is that?
Wow.
Oh wow, okay.
你织得真好。
That a person?
我也犹豫了一下，但是我想了想，我还是觉得救人要紧。 我就先去了。
I wonder if that's kind of like the test that he puts people through, where he's like, well, if you selfishly continue going up, then it's your fault you died. But if you go and save someone, you'll get out of there alive. I don't know if I'm making sense.
你到了求生哨那边，但却没有人，是吗？
对，没有人。
Any footsteps that you maybe noticed? I mean, that kind of area seems like it would leave
你先平复休息一下。
walking marks. Come on, you guys have two separate pieces of the puzzle. If you put it together, you're gonna figure things out.
如果死者是有意跳崖，那伤口和划痕的位置大概率不会出现在这儿。
Not where she's trying to.
但是伤口基本上都。
求生哨响了，却没有人。我想再去探查一下他们上山的路。
回去。
Yes, go on a romantic stroll up a mountain, the two of you.
好。
Just stay alive, please. This man unsettles me so much.
啥事？哎，正好你这些柴没劈，我帮你劈柴。
Do you know how to chop wood? You're not gonna lose a finger, are you? That's too close to the edge. You're gonna injure not only yourself but
警察
the.
同志，你在劈下去的时候，趁着劲儿把刀刃往旁边掰一下。
明白。
I suddenly had like a very interesting thought. It's possible that he followed that girl up the mountain, didn't push her or anything, but how would you react if someone potentially maybe swung that kind of a blade at you and you thought you were about to get hit? You might, you know, take a step back and then fall to your death or slip, and then you'd have to like be holding on to the edge of the cliff, which could result in the injuries that we saw. Now obviously that's a little bit of a reach, but it does feel like they're really focusing in on that blade, and yet we don't have a precedent of seeing any of the victims have cuts on their arms and like, or on their body in a way that would make it obvious that that thing was used. Oh, he's supervising him. That should have been obvious, I'm sorry.
你先带他下去。
哎呀
Very eerie. A wire leading to where exactly?
我见过这个字迹，这个字是长风写的。
我们去出事地方看看吧。
Guys, have we not like had enough people die on that path? Okay, please supervise Cindy, because he is very much the kind of person who would also go tumbling down because he's in a trance. Thank you for supervising him.
没事。
That was glorious. I'm fine. I kind of want to watch that
这就
again.
是明正侠位。
Looks like a painting. Something freaking you out? Or are you realizing something? It's so beautiful. I don't necessarily think any of you is worth my life, but I can understand wanting to see this. It looks so beautiful. Maybe don't go just stepping backwards willy-nilly.
我知道了。
I swear there's a tiny smile there.
这是断崖平台2个角度的平视图。我们试着去想象一下，视觉画面瞬间转换，倍感愉悦。
So viewing it from one angle is maybe makes you more susceptible to not noticing the edge of the cliff versus coming at it from another angle? Is that what we're getting at?
你被云蒸霞蔚的美深深的吸引，远处还有闪着
He's
金
having a
光
full
的花海。
immersion experience there.
我会走得更近一些，这样看得更清楚。
And that's the problem.
浓厚的，于是你自然而然地跟随着石头指引的方向，慢慢地往前走去。
Interesting. And the thing is, I believe it because there's a lot of times where the layout of the room, even like some going small scale, guides you in a certain way depending on just kind of like your natural expectation.
只要人们走到这个岔路口，就会踢到鱼线，从而触发机关。
求生哨
So they
不只是引导，
triggered.
特殊的自然景象，以及人类视觉的缺陷，来让他认为该死的人去死。
可他为什么要
It's
这样
very
做？
grim.
李涵，查一下10年前长风妹妹出意外的时候，带的是哪个登山队？
This is so interesting. But also, like, again, I will always point it out, the subtle look of understanding between the two of them cannot get old for me. You guys better hope that he doesn't disappear into the mountains, because you're not gonna find him. So I think he wouldn't be able to leave his sister behind. Is this where the fact that he owns a knife becomes relevant?
我怀疑他是先被人砍伤，然后才坠崖的。
死亡时间有了吗？
大约在10年左右。
Type of
伤处根据伤，应该是一把类似柴刀这样带有曲面的刀具。
No, I just want to watch the first season again as well. That man has a very distinctive face.
我认为他身上有很多疑点。
立刻传唤克林。
Oh. She's very suspicious?
那天他和他爱人来找我，说要去看云蒸霞蔚，让我给他们当向导。
With his lover, not his wife. Huh. Interesting.
我就带他们去了。
谋杀？不可能！我丈夫怎么可能被谋杀呢？
You know that's not how murder works, right?
结婚多久了？
到今年
You can't choose whether or not to be
我们至少有76.4%的时间是一起度过的。
76.4%。
That's a very specific number.
我是江大的老师，教数学的。
那当时，
The fact that you keep track is what's interesting.
您跟您丈夫不是感情一直挺好的吗？为什么要修复呢？
你一定没结婚吧？
Wow.
其实婚姻这个事儿，上午
11点05分。
That's very specific, and yeah, it's the
为什么是个叉？
很新鲜，所以我记得这个时间。
那你刚才说的那个妻子半路摔跤是怎么回事？
没有再试着去找人吗？当时我也带着警察进去找过，可是我没找到。
Something isn't adding up.
长风为了救人，先带他离开，马淮南就此失踪，
口供太一致了，很可能是串供。
Yeah, that is very odd. Because I feel like say you believe that, oh, you know, I'm a mathematician, I'm very sensitive to numbers, so I remember that 10 years ago it was exactly this time of the day when we went up that mountain. Fine. But wouldn't it be more likely for the person who is not math sensitive, even if he was like, oh, you know, she keeps mentioning numbers, she checked her watch, I think she maybe mentioned that it was around 11ish, I think. You know, something like that feels more likely, because both can't be equally as accurate, I don't feel.
这件事思维还记得吗？
Okay, so you guys are alive.
据我所知
Interesting.
这篇新闻里面，你们感谢了警方，感谢了救援队，却没有提到长风，为什么？
如果下雨，往高处、平坦的地方爬才是最安全的。去冲云乌鸦。
Okay, so unfortunately they kind of like judged the risks and they thought they were taking the safer option. I'm inclined to believe them just because of the level of shame that it sounds like they have.
他妹妹被挤了一下，就找不着了。这件事我非常感激长风，没有他。
So it wasn't that she just suddenly disappeared. Someone fell and she was pushed. That there was a little bit of ambiguity when Chengfeng told it, where it sounded like she might have just slipped on her own, but this kind of paints a different picture to me.
当时那种天气，他妹妹出意外确实是突发情况，自己的命去。
It also sounds a little bit like Chengfeng blames himself for.
他妹妹失踪了，我们也感到很心痛。
Not saving
但
his
归根
sister,
结
not
底
being able to
跟
save
我
his
们
sister.
也。
其实我们心里也很内疚，所以这么多年，我们一直以
差不多了。
Yeah, it's a lot of justification that you're giving, where the others seem to feel true remorse. The woman in white seems to be like very defensive. Oh, I don't know why I'm such a sucker for black and white. Oh, trauma. A trauma trigger. That makes sense. Lady Justice. Oh, wow, that was a very abrupt ending. Okay. Okay, so the end to yet another episode. I have to say, this show just gets me. It just hits in such a specific way that I can't help but love every single second of it. And even though this is very much just a bromance, they really like put the effort in the bromance. In my opinion, at least. I really just enjoy the small interactions that we see with Du Cheng and Xin Yi because it feels very organic. And again, I like seeing the growth of their relationship as far as we've seen it, and also just the natural way that the entire team is working together and really highlighting each other's strengths and compensating for each other's weaknesses. It's really nice to see, and it feels very real. But yeah, this is a very interesting case. I feel like that this really highlights how clever Chengfeng is, because he clearly kind of like understands the mountain and to an extent understands human psychology and so on. And I like how here at the end we kind of had a tie back into what we've now kind of established to be the theme of the season, where it focuses on Xin Yi's search for the demons inside the people's hearts. So I like how that came back again when the realization of why the one event triggered such an aggressive reaction from Chengfeng versus all the other ones where he kind of took a more passive role as judge, shall we say.
想跟你讲一个故事。希腊神话中有一个传说，相传天上众神失和，以布条蒙眼。天平代表了选择，利剑代表着审判。
That is beautiful.
蒙眼象征着正义，可妹妹却因此跌落山崖。这就是促使你成为一个所谓审判者的初始动机。
And I love, like, with the actor, you could see this small moment of realization that he's been figured out.
你们当警察的应该比我更了解，这个世界上，每天都会有人突然离开，没有原因。
你要让那些自私的人去给小娟陪葬。
我后来经常恍惚，是不是我救了妹妹，而掉下山的是我？
That's a very grim thought. But it's also interesting because it kind of like... It's interesting to think how when they arrived at the mountain and the way he handled himself then versus how that like facade slowly fell away the more they got to see of him. It's very interesting because I feel like this is the most open we've seen him. Wait, is he implying that this man did it on purpose? Oh! And this is where the collaborative effort between the two of them came together.
稍等，马上。喂，120吗？
Yeah, so I think she
我们这儿有
knew,
人摔伤
but
了，摔得很
she
严重。
because the guy targeted her first,
地址
or
在
her husband targeted
丰
her
都山
first.
丰都村。
She was kind of like, you saved me, so I'll keep your secrets. I wonder, I feel like at this point he was still
我报警。
genuine. And as the years went on, he grew more embittered.
你好，松开了我的手，他甚至强迫你也松开我的手的时候，他已经做了选择，恶有恶报。
This woman probably doesn't realize what a profound effect her words had on this man.
恶有恶报。
And kind of not in a good way.
所以你承认了，马慧南是你杀的，
是他自己选的。
I mean, that's probably the only
是恶有
condition
恶
you
报。
guys will get out of him, because the other ones weren't like he can claim there's like a plausible deniability to it. I feel.
这是在长风家里找到的。
我之前问你有没有见过他，你说没有。
我杀的。
Interesting.
我要登顶云雾崖。
以你现在这个速度，你登上去，云蒸霞蔚也早就散了。
不可以。
With those unsteady feet.
能解决有问题的人，我就是那个问题。
I feel like, ironically, and quite depressingly, suicide doesn't get rid of problems, it just makes the problems no longer yours.
有时候跟父母沟通，反而比跟外人还费劲。
Yeah, we actually hear about
都有
your
各自的
parents
人
then,
生，
presumably.
我也不想让父母失望，所以就决定来死一死。
You don't think that'd do more than disappoint them?
我还恐高。
Would she ask for your help? Help?
要死的。
真想死啊！我那儿有把柴刀，刚磨过，你可以试试。
No. That's really grim. I'm sorry.
不行。
That just surprised me.
所以我就帮他完成这个心愿。反正我已经杀过一个人了，不在乎多一个。
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of the times the murderer's thought.
小静和她父母经常吵架，被禁足。
他父母管。
Maybe I'm being too optimistic. Is it at all possible that she like faked her death and started over under a new name? I guess that would be too ideal, because then at least it means she's still alive.
小静那天来我店里哭了2个多小时，最后还是回去了。
I love how he's not even phased about she just randomly doing his own thing on the side.
还没有找到他的下落。
I can't help but think about the case in season 1 where it was kind of revealed that 2 women were in love with each other. At least that's the way I read it. The one that had the artist teacher, like that episode, the one that Xiao Xian came from, the cat. I can't help but think about that again, because I mean, if she felt that, considering how strict her parents were, there was no way that they would ever accept what she actually wants, which might be an interest in someone with the same sex. You know, I could see how something like that, and I'm not saying that she, like, the situation even without that couldn't drive her to the point where she was, but I could see how if that were the case, it would just make everything so much worse.
这也是你吗？
是，我和我的朋友。
And in the center.
你们家这装修挺别致的。
啊，是我爱人经营一家设计公司，所以房间内的陈设上，
那不叫偏执，对能追求到的完美视而不见，那是件羞耻的事情。
啊，谢谢。
Oh, that just shouts about all the pain that the average person would go through if they had to meet that kind of standard.
我能去看看他的房间吗？
哦，可以，楼上的房间就是。
好。
And I'm assuming you guys cleaned it up, so it won't necessarily be an easy time to find the things the way she left it. Again, with the shell design things, that's the same as in the cafe. Yeah, exactly that. Oh wow, art is beautiful. If this is their definition of messy, they would not survive if they entered my room.
刘新瑶，
这孩子也是个怪胎，放着家里开着好好的工厂不干，非要跑去开什么咖啡馆。
Excuse you? Number one, that just shows the narrowness of their own worldview. That they think wanting to open a cafe, even though your parents own a factory, makes you a freak. But the fact that they said 2 implies that that's the way that they view their daughter as well, which is just depressing.
有一天我路过那咖啡馆，看见他在门口抽烟。谁正经女孩抽烟？
就是。
我们家小静。
Look, I don't like smoking. I think it's a very strange decision to make for your own health. But what the hell? Like, really, what a old-time view to be like, oh, proper ladies don't smoke. That has nothing to do with whether or not you're a proper human being or not.
我知道他这么大了，翻他包不合适。可你说我不看看能行吗？你们都不知道这孩子的想法有多吓人。不结婚也能生孩子呀，这不疯了吗？
你说现在这孩子怎么
Look, I'm trying to remember. that cultural context contributes a lot, and I think their cultural context is obviously very different from what I believe, but I like how they're very clearly laying out how these small struggles of trying to meet her parents' standards obviously built up over time.
情况我们基本了解了，如果有消息，我们第一时间会通知你们。走吧。
Like, sorry, there was just a part of me that imagined if Shinyi and Do-chung actually were together as a couple, how these two would lose it.
关闭音乐。
当前已关闭音乐。
想什么呢？
So
我在
much.
小静的床头。那你知道这本书描述的主人公原型是谁吗？
Probably the author?
解读很到位。那你知道刘心瑶的咖啡店里只挂了2幅画，都是高更的吗？一幅叫《我们从何处来》，我认为小静并不是真的想寻死，她只是想换一种全新的活法。你还知道什么高更的故事？
高更应该很高吧？
对，和你一样。
Guys, the subtext. We're fine. We're fine.
就在这下面，刚才打捞上来的时候被树枝缠住了。
But again, I feel like everything fits together so much more neatly if it is the case that she decided to fake her own death to try and restart her life somewhere else, not only because of the context of the painting and the very telling fact that the story about Xiao Jing's life is being told in her friend's cafe, which I think signals their closeness a lot. If you assume that she didn't actually die, then the guy, Cheng Feng, his denial of knowing her makes more sense. Because it's like, oh, I don't know her. And then, oh crap, her still being alive is about to be known. Oh, I murdered her. It doesn't matter that I murdered her once because I already murdered someone else. So what's the difference? You know, I'm going away from prison. I might as well claim to have murdered her as well to keep her peace safe. Maybe I just want her to still be alive too badly. Damn it. Okay. I was wrong. She is dead. Okay, that's good. That's good.
师傅，麻烦您帮我看一下，前段时间有没有见过这个女孩？
Sorry, I'm so happy that she's at least the possibility of her being alive is not yet dead.
我们找到了下游的一个村镇集市，在监控里看到了张思静。这个就是她。
And this was after she was
但是市集的摄像头比较
supposed to have already been murdered.
小静走出。
其他监控呢？
这是唯一能看见她的一个监控。
把她最后出现的画面再调出来。
I love how we very seamlessly transition from one case to kind of like the next, even though it's one big case at the end of the day.
戴着棒球帽，看不清楚脸。
I mean, yeah, I was about to say it's Shinyi. I think he'll be fine.
面部柯结节、下颌骨、颞骨乳突这几个骨点都一致。
Okay.
人已经找到了。
The friend.
我们是警察，不是来劝你回去的。
I mean, but the fact that you guys found her, you'd probably have to tell the parents. But technically, she's a legal adult, so if she says don't tell the parents, then I guess technically her wish would have to be respected. I'm not sure.
慢慢来吧。经过这次的事情，我觉得他们会有改变的。
That's a lot to expect her to risk. She just got out from under them. And now you want her to go back because you hope that they'll have learned their lesson. I get that she's trying to be optimistic here, but understand how much you're asking this woman to risk.
这件事憋在我心里很久了，也想找个人说说。
你说。
我杀过人。
Oh, I
我也不在乎多你，要不然一辈子活在自责里，太痛苦了。
There's a lot of pain there.
反正我活着已经没什么念想了，你就替我好好活着。
是他给了我第二次生命。
It's interesting how they found like almost a kindred spirits in each other in that moment.
你们不会把他送回去吧？别把他送回去啊！
他回不回家，谁说了都不算。
Except
决定权在他自己。
如果当初我没有救人，就不会有这么多条命遇见。以恶制
That's a
恶，
very interesting way
到最后发现
to be read.
最终你的灵魂还是能被救赎。
Yeah, that like he's a very interesting character because there's so many complexities to how he viewed this and how he carried everything out. Also, that was a beautiful transition. Sorry, I just wanted to point it out, even if it's a little bit late, between the mountains and cutting back to the bridge. Interestingly enough, also kind of like the symbolism between the two places where people tend to take their own lives. So I don't think that was necessarily intentional. I think I'm reading too much into it.
你那幅画被人买走了。那幅画都有人买，谁啊？是一位姓
That creepy guy.
他出价还挺好的。那您看。啊，没关系。这样，你把买画人的信息告诉我。
I am really concerned about that guy because, like, fan can easily lead to like a dangerous obsession, or like indicate potentially a dangerous obsession.
Yeah.
In this context, I'd say.
是你买了我的画。
Please tell me you told someone that you're coming here.
躁动的静物，我买了它。
Yeah, we see that, but your behavior is very odd.
那我把它拿走，钱我退给你，跟钱没关系。
What, do you want to destroy it? Yeah, that painting that had a different version of him at the back, which, if it's the same person, implies that he knew already, which, I mean, I suspected, but this feels like confirmation. He knew who Shinyi was when he spoke to him that first time in the gallery. And he resents him for abandoning what he perceives to be a superior form of art. Please tell me you told Liu Cheng. Wait, what?
这也是我的梦。
What? Okay, I'm very confused. Just a quick addressal of that last bit, and then I actually want to focus on the rest of the episode. I'm very concerned about Shinyi right now. I don't know if this is a lot of stalking that is happening here, or if there is something psychologically going on with Shinyi that we should be worrying about. I feel like there's a lot of ways to interpret that, and I'm worried about all of them. And I'm also worried about the fact that he's alone with this person who seems very entitled about the way that he thinks Shinyi should live his life. But focusing back on the rest of the actual episode, beautiful. Obviously very, very sad and tragic, but also I liked the hopeful twist that we had there at the end, where it turned out she was actually alive and had just pursued a different path in life. And I like the fact that the things that her parents pointed out as what they perceived to be issues with her, why they struggled to connect with her, why they struggled to understand her, were relatively, I don't want to say minor, but at the same time, like, from the outside, they could seem minor. And I think that's what I love about it, because it shows that something that you perceive to be a minor issue, you know, that you're enforcing on someone, could, from their perspective, be life-ruining. It could be something that completely suppresses their free will, you know, and in turn completely destroys the life that they want to live. So I like that it wasn't this very big thing where you immediately look at it and you're like, oh my soul, of course the parents are absolutely awful for doing that to their daughter. It's not like outright abuse or anything like that, where I think the correlation is much more easy to draw. But it's something that I think a lot of parents are much more easily guilty of, where it's one small thing and then another small thing, and together it's just all too much pressure. So yeah, I liked that exploration and the like slightly redeeming angle that it took here for Changfeng, where it showed that there was a lot more to him than just someone who wanted revenge. So overall, amazing. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm very worried about the next one though. I have binged the past 3 episodes, so if this looks familiar to you, it's because it's all the same day. I'm on holiday. I'm allowed to indulge myself. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's video.
行为本身、裂缝，乃至观者的思考，都成为了艺术的一部分。
那您觉得这个作品
Okay, sorry, I don't know what audio mix-up there was. I don't know if it's just my earpiece that mixed up that audio or if it's on the video itself. But just wanted to mention, I noticed, I don't know what's happening.
它揭示了隐藏在表面之下的真相。
Okay, well, since we're in class, let me deliver my opinion. It feels like a disrespect to the person who initiated the painting. In contrast, the guy that he just mentioned, who originally did this, there was nothing to disrespect. It was a blank canvas. He could transform it into whatever he wished it to become. Whereas that man, who I already don't like, and maybe that's just my preconceived notions about people, but he took something that already had a potential value to someone else, and he destroyed it because he disagreed with it. That's the way I'm perceiving it.
我发现你之前给长风做了一个沙盘测试，我觉得好神奇，我想知道是怎么做的。
用铅笔分别画出包括房、树、人3种元素，想怎么画都行。画完之后，我会一一跟大家解释。
Oh no! What are we about to like discover about Chinyi that Du Cheng might observe, but Chinyi might be too close to the situation to see just yet.
这3个元素代表什么意思？
房子呢，投射的是人呢，就代表着你对自己的认知。成对的房树人，方正、 对称，给人一种大方威严之感。可以看得出来，程队的内心是极其有正义感的，堂堂正正，刚正不阿。
Wow. Yeah, keep complimenting him even more.
哎，陈老师，我小时候学过3年美术，是不是还行？画的，夸我。
男人至死是少年，
这叫赤子之心。
来看看我的。
来。
I guess it depends on how you view things.
你画的这个，我可以公开说吗？
当然说。我是不该失恋还是不该恋爱啊？
你该。不是，我不是说你活该，不是我活该，不是我活该有什么用？我杀人呢
I love how full of them are just like, leave us out of this. We're just awkward third wheeling here. Please don't include us in this discussion.
我只能刷点修驴蹄的短视频解解压。我跟他是在那个评论区里面认识的。
Oh, that's bold of you.
分手快乐。
我说我这双手。
Wait, huh?
人家说了，我这双手上班摸尸体，下班牵他手，直接给人吓跑。
So, what? Should all doctors just be single as well? What the hell? That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
其实我需要的另一半呢，是能够理解我这个工作的，为我骄傲，为我自豪。所以没关系，
I mean, it doesn't
他不是那个
necessarily
人。
have to be someone in
好。
your
你的房书人整体还是比较积极的。
我一会儿还有点事儿，我能先走吗？
行。
Interesting. What is it that she doesn't want to confront?
隔水融化面粉200克。
Let me try and interpret, just for the fun of it, even though it probably is way far. She feels disconnected from her home that she grew up in, where she was probably treated a bit like a princess, and now she doesn't feel like she is doing a good job as an adult, and she feels like she's been left behind a little bit when compared to her colleagues. I don't know why. I think just because the house that they were supposed to draw looked more like a castle. Damn!
这里是北江新城小区，我们这儿邻居有一家炸了，消防员都来了，我给你们看看啊。哎，好好的房子怎么搞成垃圾站了？这女孩子怎么攒了那么多破烂啊？
过日子的呀，你说有这么危险邻居，这是我们还住他隔壁。
别拍了，清场了。
Oh, I hope you guys' houses look amazing and you don't mind people filming it and just coming in without your invitation.
不要拍火星。我听说北江新城着火了，又联系不上你，就有点担心。没想到真的是你家，可别骗我。你要是哪不舒服的话，你就告诉我。
但是万一消防在找我怎么办？
I mean, you guys are police officers. Just give them your contact details.
要不这样，我帮你处理善后，顺便再帮你收拾一下。
不用收拾，我自己可以，不麻烦了。
好。
Oh, there's so much rejection that she seems to be feeling. There and there. I like that we're getting to learn more about all of the people though. I don't necessarily believe that guy just let me leave without.
绘画可以表达很多东西，情绪都可以通过颜色来表达，人的内心也可以。
Are you scared of your own thoughts right now?
你最近是不是又没睡好？小红裙是不是又来找你了？
Also, like, I do wonder about the effectiveness of a test like that if you understand what the things that you're drawing can represent, because then you potentially have the power to manipulate that and paint a better picture of it than you actually genuinely feel, just to protect yourself.
事情已经过去了，别把自己逼得太紧。
That is, I understand that's the way you deal with things, but you should know that's not the way that Shinyi deals with things.
痛苦都是被自己逼出来的。早点回去休息吧。
I mean, you've established that he's struggling to do just that.
美涵，自杀网站查的怎么样？
差不多了，我来汇报一下。
He's not cursing her.
没有找到刻意引导自杀的嫌疑人。 其中的未成年人已经分别联系了他们的监护人，网站也今天差不多可以封了。
It's so interesting considering how it seems she sees herself and how competent she is at her job. You know, like, I think people tend to think that if you're struggling in one part of life, that just proves that you're incompetent as a person, when clearly she's not.
有人加我好友，不是自杀群的群友。
But the fact that they used an artist's name, I immediately suspect Shinyi's new friend.
你好，请问你是？
我是一名心理医生。
I can't help but having like bad and crazy flashbacks where the psychologist was the person kind of inciting violence in his patients.
不多不少，刚好让孩子痛苦。
Please check that phone and maybe get some connections there, because the thing that scares me is, as much as having this kind of a conversation with someone can help you if they are well-intentioned, it can harm you so much because they can exploit your vulnerabilities so easily.
我是想让你关心一下你的下属。
我没关心你吗？说的是李涵。
你看看人家，就你这脑子，我怎么提拔你啊？
Damn, it's not so bad.
我觉得有些不对劲，就把自己画的房树人也上传了上去。这是我们的聊天记录。
I'm so glad she talked to them about it.
我去看那个医生，叫我画房树人，然后说在我心里把自己画得太大。
I was very scared that she would keep this to herself and it would escalate.
但我发现她只是表面上劝人积极向上，实则一直在对我做消极的心理暗示，并有意无意说起自杀。
除了让自己消失，让父母悔恨，没有什么能够改变他们。
I mean, that's not even subtle.
你跟他聊这么多，这说的都是真的。
You can't ask her that. Of course, she's gonna feel too vulnerable to.
工作需要吗？我也觉得他有问题，所以我用技术手段查看了他的好友列表和聊天记录。他有10几个好友，最近频繁联系的除我之外，还有上面这4个人。他跟这4个人的对话都有大量的死亡内容出现，并且探讨过了实施方法。
李涵，你没事吧？
没事。
He's so bad at that. He's like, well done, you tried.
达芬奇给2个人拉了个小群，
先要发给蒋峰，让他去。
好。
But at least
我先去忙了。
Now you know to keep like an eye on her. Make sure she's okay. Oh goodness! I really hope you have some medical attention close by. Where is this? Is this at Da Vinci's location?
Oh. 我 哪里有你？我的生活很单调。我脸上记。
That's a lot of Chinese art.
不是这种被光明刺伤了的黑暗。
I'm pretty sure that was Shinji's one, like this, where is it? Sorry, I'm just realizing you can't see where I'm pointing. Let me... That one there with the black, kind of above his head. That's the one that he painted of the mysterious figure murdering the 3 idols. This has to be Shinji's painting, right? Which again, kind of, if it's intentionally that and they didn't just reuse the painting, which I'm hoping is not the case, that again indicates to a lot of stalking behavior. I hope he recorded
人救
that.
过来了吗？缝合起来也很困难。
一般人自杀不会写人质的方式，一定有人知道他。
Yeah, most people wouldn't know to do something like that.
如果有什么消息的话，我第一时间告诉你。
好。Oh. They're just making me worry for everyone in this freaking show, aren't they?
何姐在医院陪他打点滴呢，医生说没什么事儿了。
不对，没那么简单。我反复在思考李涵的状态，一定发生了什么。
I mean, tell them about how everyone.
怎么样？
Oh, those paintings are beautiful.
这么说起来，李涵好像小时候是跟着他姥姥长大的。
Probably when she died, she might have
那就难怪
kept
了。
things in order to.
在他的沙发上有一个手工缝制的熊猫侠，你知道吧？
知道，还是一个侠客装扮成熊猫。
算了，我忘了你跟李涵不是一个年代的了。没关系，就是小时候随处都能买。都在互相炫耀正版熊猫侠的时候，这个山寨版的熊猫侠就导致了他的自卑。
So kind of the thing of like she resented it because it showed that they weren't well off enough to afford an actual one, but now maybe she regrets rejecting it because she's lost her grandmother.
李涵现在这种爱在家里积攒东西的表现，就是他童年阴影的延续和重复。他成为了李涵心里的一根刺。
I think people underestimate how much of a psychological problem hoarding is. It's not
而
just
这根
something
刺
that's easily fixed.
又突然之间网上留言对他的嘲讽和谩骂，又再次揭开了他心底的伤疤。
那就在这个时候，
He understands.
达芬奇趁虚而入。
Yeah, which is very alarming. That looks so beautiful, damn.
希望他可以早日振作起来，忘了那些坏人说的话。
你也是。
Oh, you mean so well and you say it so poorly.
我听说你是因为给我做饼干家里才着火的，我这心里还挺过意不去的。
No tact. No tact. No tact.
我就是说了找我，其他啥也没说。
哎，我刚发你视频，你看见了吗？最后好像有个镜头。
Seriously, who answers their phone willy-nilly when they're in conversation with someone and then, of course, just luck would have it. It's about that.
孩子怎么打得那么破烂啊？
妈，你怎么能把手机调成听筒模式啊？你放这么老大声！
That shouldn't be what you're scolding her about. It should be about judging someone that you call a colleague. Because I'm sure that's not what she is doing. Like I don't think she watched that with malicious intent, and she probably, hopefully, didn't even think much about that video. But then at least you're speaking to what she's perceiving the situation to be, instead of making it seem like you're trying to hide the fact that you're judging her.
大不了的话，你那些破烂咱不要了，住阿姨家。我这个人爱干净，每天给你收拾房间，你。
Again, the mom is trying. She's like so well intentioned.
谁啊？
陈毅。
I'm so glad it's not Da Vinci, because at this point I was kind of worried that it might be.
需不需要换鞋啊？
起来吧。
Oh wow.
现在我的秘密你们都知道。
All the is interesting.
是关乎于姥姥的秘密。
I'm very curious to hear what this is gonna be about. I'm still very worried about Shinyi's psychological burdens that we are kind of like skirting around. And the fact that we didn't go back into where we left off with the previous episode is also very concerning, because it makes you wonder like what occurred in that room that we as the audience don't know about yet. I like that they're talking about hoarding, because I think it's a very prevalent issue for a lot of people, and it's something that's kind of like looked down upon, but at the same time not treated as the serious issue that it is. But yeah, so I like the sympathetic lens through which this is being showcased. And again, as I mentioned in either the start of this episode or the previous episode, I enjoy the fact that we're getting to see more of the rest of the team and not just Shinyi and Do-chung, even though obviously I love them and I'm looking forward to whatever more we see of both of them as well and learn of them. And I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing Do-chung's sister in this season as well. But yeah, overall, great episode. Really enjoyed it.
I
really like their friendship.
从我有记忆开始，从此我有了一个外号——垃圾孩。这个外号我太难受了，我想让他理解我。
And this, it feels so real. There's a book that I read that was an autobiography, and it kind of like touched on the subject, and a lot of what she's saying like resonates with what the person in that autobiography also said.
再没有醒过来。这个希望小学圈了他所有的积蓄。
So she left you with nothing? I mean,
沈老师
I have the general sense that no one is owed someone else's life's work in terms of money, but I do think that it's somewhat depending on obviously the relationship that you have with someone and whether or not they would be able to stand on their own 2 feet once you left. So I don't know how old she was when her grandmother passed, but if she was still a child and dependent on her grandmother for, like, if she was say 17, 18 and she was still financially dependent on her grandmother, then I do feel a little bit different about the fact that her grandmother chose to leave her nothing than say if she's like 30, financially independent, and her grandmother chose to leave her nothing. You know, quite a different setup.
我其实知道江峰对我有意思，但我有时候见着他，我真的说不出口。
我明白你的感受。
我不知道是不是让那个达芬奇说中了，真的是因为基因。但是
it's not. It's just generational trauma, and you shouldn't have to only rely on yourself to break through that, because it is a very, very tough cycle to break, regardless of what form it takes.
要不我们出去走走，吃点东西，刚好散散心。
I like that he didn't immediately try and offer her a solution, because obviously, number one, he's not qualified even if he has had some experience with it. But also, that's not always what we need in that moment.
多亏有你，我才能说出憋在我心里那么久的话。我跟你说啊，我现在心情超级好。
那就好。其实我有个礼物要送给你。
Way too quickly about things.
什么呀？
But also her competence at work shows that she is so capable of bringing that same energy into her home. She just needs help finding the tools to make it something she can transition into her house.
那万一这个现在的我是我的伪装呢？
I don't think that's the case.
谢谢你。
不客气。来，敬姥姥。
敬姥姥。
What I like about this is the
好烫好烫。
the kind of showcase of I'm assuming it's a show sponsor, but the kind of showcase that these demons in people's hearts that Cindy speaks about, it doesn't, you know, exclusively mean that you're a bad guy for having that kind of like knot in something within your life. It kind of applies to everyone.
赵老师，咱们下去啊，让咱们所有人都在这块。
That was such a nice, like, almost side story, I guess.
不能再让他这么继续害人了，得想办法尽快抓住他。但是现在，
人在绝望的泥潭里想要自救却无法自拔的时候，他却在别人最需要救命稻草的时候把人推向深渊。
行，你继续。神医陪着他。
李涵，你看，这是在罗以晨房间找到的，树枝微微下垂，说明他的内心也很敏感，很容易自我贬低。人孤独地站在树旁边。你现在再把达芬奇和他的对话调出来，你看看达芬奇是怎么回答的。
Interesting. I'm intrigued to see how.
你的家庭，他们只爱他们自己，这说明
他在硬套。你再看这两幅画。
And he's taking the least generous interpretation of people's portraits and using that to needle them because he understands what they actually want, and he's kind of like saying the exact opposite almost.
那我们现在怎么办？
攻击他，说他不是一个真正的心理学家。
Okay, interesting.
你不是真正的心理学家。
excited about seeing this.
你对房树人的分析，
对话的解读，我只是基于一个相对客观专业的知识进行分析。
I hate that. Like that saying two things at the same time, so neither one can really be true. Oh, they're like art is subjective and there is no one true interpretation, but at the same time, I used my professional background to analyze this. So clearly, I'm implying by saying that my subjective view of this is the correct view because I somehow have a qualification that disproves the very first thing that I said to be the case.
让他画方树人。
你这么会分析，
Did he just say, "Oh,
让我也分析。
I'm not trying to create fear in you, but you should be fearful"?
沈老师，他发过来了。
Oh, I kind of want to see rip this man apart. I just hope it's not.
这是一张教科书一般的完美方式。看一下这张图的比例，用黄金分割的图套一下。
Also, maybe just Google image search. It feels like you got that from Google.
可丁可卯的。
只有一种可能，他根本不是人。
AI
是个 AI。
Oh my word! That's
测算一下它的恢复速度。
这是人类无法达到的速度。真的是 AI。我怎么早没有想到啊
So who's behind the AI? That's.
没事，李涵。 虽然他所有的回答方向都是灰暗的，但是我们可以从中探测出给他喂的人的很多喜好。你相信弗洛伊德吗？
每个人都可以成为神。
Very telling.
技术队查到了，达芬奇是架设在一个国外的服务器上。
Because again, generally, I don't think. No, obviously. I am no expert when it comes to AI. I am very confused about all of the new challenges that we're going to be facing as it evolves. But generally, I feel like AI doesn't make a lot of definitive statements about many things, especially religion. So this does show the as you said, the creator's hand a lot.
他的很多作品都在反映人类心灵上的孤独和恐惧，这一点跟咱们的达芬奇审美很像。
Okay.
阿尔贝托，
贾科梅蒂。行，按照你的推测，我去查查看。
Oh goodness, I love how they're learning about each other's fields of interest. I remember him sneaking them in season 1. Now he's just outright taking them at this point.
那些人经常到那里聚会，有3个人很懂人工智能，他们肯定知道。
什么地方？
The satisfaction from Du Cheng. Any hope on your side?
达芬奇也把我删好友了。
线索全断了。
I mean, I hope you guys kept
就这么让他跑
chat
吧
at least.
我再想想别的办法。
I have to say, like, as much as I'm noticing the ad placements, they're at least not super obtrusive, which I appreciate.
李涵，我觉得
市局技术科的专家王鹏飞老师，
督成，你好。
有了王老师的帮助，咱们一定可以揪出达芬奇。
We just hope that he
有什么办
isn't
法？
him.
他不是骚扰咱们吗？
灌爆他？
Interesting.
什么意思啊？你听说过 DDoS 吗？ 没有。
I mean, who hasn't
是这样
heard
的
DOS?
应付这样的绘画频次，价格可不便宜。
所以，要么让他破产，要么让他瘫痪。
对，理解到位。
Okay, interesting. I feel
如
kind of.
果跟他聊
I don't want to
天，
say bad, because like
内容的
sounds
制
bad
作
when
者
people to their
是不是也能看见？
deaths,
是
but
无论他一定都会去检查他的 AI 系统出了什么问题。那么这个时候，他就一定会去看对话记录。
好，
oh, he
那帮我给他带个话。
Shinji is having like a evil genius smile.
可以开始了。
开始吧。
I always wonder, there's some channels on YouTube that check the way that they hack in shows and movies
什么情况？这就结束
rate
了。
the accuracy.
让子弹。
So I always wonder about these kinds of scenes. Are we about to find out that it's Shinji's new friend? Because considering the name of the thing, I wouldn't be surprised.
他说：“审议是吧？我接受你的挑战，我用 AI 作画，手绘版也好，形式任选，规定时间内完成这幅图片的细化。
Validity to my fear.
就是这幅图。”
哎，好家伙，AR 大战人类！来来来，你们快过
他
来！
还说，有网友投票， 票数最多的人赢得这场比赛。
This is an interesting.
人工智能15秒就能出图，你却用了30分钟，你已经输了。
传统。
Nope, because the thing is, what he can potentially add in the current states of AI can kind of like almost backfire. Like the more detailed they need to be, the worse it gets almost. You see it in the way that they haven't quite figured out the exact science of hands, and sometimes a mouth will look very strange.
我们将采取匿名投票的方式，结局让我们拭目以待。
看你这样子，还挺有信心的吧？
完成内容。
啊？
有意思啊
I think he's literally just trying to buy them time to find the person.
海边，孤独的男人，这个情景只有人才能做得到。AI 懂什么叫孤独吗？
It's interesting. Those people have barely had any screen time, and I really like them. That's very distinctive character writing.
这样吧，跟他们说，把时间延长到1小时，1小时可以了吧？
好嘞。
My word, how long does it take you to boot up your computer? What a terrible excuse.
沈老师，有人第一个交图了。
Don't influence me.
就这，存了，拿回家驱邪。
这要都是这样的话，
还没有，它又下线。
再等等吧，早晚会上线。
What is he gonna do a rush job?
谁给你的？李涵给我的，特别好吃啊。
那我现在贴上去吗？
等到点了吧，别影响到别人。
你看到这些图这么粗糙，要我说，短时间想要画好这么细腻的作品 ，AI 还不成熟。这张还是 AI，
为什么？
不知道，就感觉缺少点人味，但让人感受不到一种孤独。要是人类画师的话，能更好的诠释这种。
程队，你是程以南？
我是。你们是？
我们是北疆分局刑侦大队的。
Where did I see this guy before?
你涉嫌刑事犯罪。
我就是想看看，我是赢了还是输了。
不用看了，你输了。
His confidence in Shinji's ability. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for giving me that.
达芬奇是我做的，我认。你们该怎么走流程就怎么走流程吧，我没什么可说的。
He seems so cocky.
对于大厂来说，已经老了。孩子刚出生，老婆事业蒸蒸日上。
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we just take a moment? I know I'm in the middle of it, but to appreciate how Shinji is so like emotionally intelligent, and somehow he always manages to bring his emotional intelligence back in contact with his skills as an artist and his understanding of art. And I like how it never feels ridiculous. Like it very much feels like logical leaps that someone in his position could make, someone with his kind of base knowledge. I just really appreciate how they managed to make it feel so cohesive.
家里的事儿，你一点都不管是吧？
How can you ignore your daughter crying like that?
来，来，来一口，来一口，来一口，来一口，来一口，来一口，来一口，哎，
And what's painful about these kinds of situations is the one has the financial means to take care of the child, while the other has the emotional means. So if they were to divorce, there's not really, like, you want the child to go to the parent that is going to care most for them emotionally, but it puts an extreme strain on that parent because they don't have the financial means to support themselves and the child at that moment. All because of the situation.
网上很多人都说，这种健身器材用不了2次，你就成衣架了。乱不说，
That's the weirdest
那个电话
concern
会议
I've ever
老板
had.
催死了。
我向他喂养我的情绪，同时他自己沿着最初设定的报。
So you have the time to create an AI chatbot that's gonna spread negativity, and you don't use that time to create a side hustle for yourself so that you can gain money and leave your wife if she's making you that miserable. Make that make sense.
那一刻，我得到了前所未有的满足感，自己仿佛成了创造怪物的神。
Who wants to create monster though?
这样，
现在说什么都晚了。
The worst part is I don't necessarily know if this is the kind of thing that he can serve the adequate amount of time for in terms of like, I don't think they'll be able to charge him for the suicides that he caused. He'll likely only get some kind of minor charge.
哎呦，终于收拾完了。
Well done.
我家这个样子。
你打多少关
5014，可厉害了。
？5000多关。
嗯，加油吧你。
我才721关。
哦。
喂。哦，好，我这就下来，稍等啊。
Why am I immediately apprehensive? One compared to what she had is a big improvement. Let's just hope it's not the sign that the habit hasn't been truly fixed. It's just a temporary thing. Okay, so that's the end of episode 9. As soon as we started with the AI discussions, I kind of like was berating myself for not thinking that this is something that would come up, considering they actually already addressed AI related crimes in a fair few of the first season's episodes. So it feels like a very natural progression that they would keep up with that. And I'm kind of glad that they are addressing it, because with the rise of AI, there are so many new creative ways that people are finding to accomplish what they previously accomplished in much more crude ways, shall we say. So it is interesting to see how we are going to attempt to keep up with it. And especially I would do wonder how the police is going to keep up with all of it. But yeah, again, I loved this episode. And they never disappoint with the like bromance moments that they just throw in there for us to enjoy. I just live for it. I'm really glad to see that the female police officer doing better, because I think even if she hasn't managed to completely rid herself of the hoarding tendencies, I think she's hopefully in a little bit of a better mental space to deal with it head on, rather than almost burying her head in the sand approach that she had previously. So fingers crossed it works out for her. What are you about to encounter? A body? Or are you about to become a body? That's the other option. Why am I so nervous? Okay, well, at least you didn't become a body, that's one thing. Oh! Ooh! That's intense, damn. That's not... No. I thought for a moment that was the guy that bought Shinji's art, but I don't think that's him. I definitely mistook.
一幅绝望的画。
Shinji, are you okay? So obviously not a robbery. Or maybe not obviously, but less likely to just be a robbery.
还有，这底下原本有2个电脑主机，被拿走了1台。
So he might have known something he shouldn't have. Rock? Gloves? Okay, you are wearing gloves.
雕塑用的泥土，我不太确定，拿到队里化验一下。
His eyes for detail.
这个地方也太诡异了，一个人生活和工作全在这个防空洞里面。刚才我查了这里所有的书籍。
Okay, sorry. I'm kind of obsessed with the writing of the show because I appreciate the details that they use so much. And what I like about Shinji's characterization is how innate his color identification is to him as a person, and it makes so much sense considering he is who he is. And it's something that I often see lacking in stories about artists, is those weird skills that you pick up depending on your profession. Like, random example, but when I was working in a bookstore, I could pretty accurately estimate by looking at a space exactly how many books could fit into that space. And that's a very strange skill, but it's something you pick up because you're handling books every single day. So I like those kinds of details because it makes it feel more real.
到底是干嘛的呀？
Why do I think that it's not going to be a regular ass, oh, he was a lawyer, hence all the books about law? Especially
死者的死亡时间
it's mental sculpture
大约是在昨天
fragments and
早上的
something
8点到11点之间。
Could be a smuggler, an art smuggler, because then you would need to know the law to kind of work around, like within the loopholes of the law, shall we say?
而且下体
This man
全
had
部被裁。
time.
从凶手下刀的角度和力度来看，
His
受害
groin?
人当时应该是躺在地
It's a
上。
very personal attack.
经核实，死者名叫董一蛋，39岁，法律专业毕业，当过律师，后因多次违规被吊销资格证。
现场没有找到作案工具，没有提取到指纹，地面上也没有发现鞋印，应该是被凶手刻意清理过。不过在
So
门口的
those
地垫上，
prints were from the victim, the ones that we did see.
发现了2个带血
Oh,
的
okay.
鞋印
Never
轮廓。
mind. Those are the
45
ones I
码
was。talking about.
现场找到的录音笔，录音时间是案发前1周。
So it's possible. I'm reaching so much already, but let's just go with it. That maybe there was a woman who was not falsely accused, but basically like this man was hired to investigate this woman because her husband thought she was cheating. He took footage or photos that in the circumstances made it look like she was indeed cheating when she actually wasn't. So she kind of like came back for revenge because it wrecked her marriage. But that feels too straightforward for the show, so we'll see.
查到这个录音的来源了吗？
暂时还没有，但是案发前1天，有一位女性给他打过电话。
Oh wow, okay.
可惜包里的纸币在流通的过程中经手的人太多了，我们也没有办法在包上提取到有效的指纹。
是我们还可以发现，案发当天他手机里的一些，要么被遮挡，要么很模糊，完全看不清楚。
Shinji, is there any way for you to work your magic based on like the shadows or
但我觉
something?
得，但如果像这种被遮挡或者原本就拍得很不清楚，就没办法了。
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Makes sense.
我可以试试。
I appreciate how accurate that is. Okay, let's see. I'm really so intrigued to see how he manages to conjure up these things every time, and it feels completely believable.
这是什么？水泥？
颜色类似，但比水泥要细腻。
怎么了？你找我？
这是我根据飞片推断出来的跟踪位置。
I love how he never ceases to be amazed by Shinji. Like, he's used to it at this point, but there's still that moment of like, You did what now? Okay, yeah, okay, tell me more.
确定是他们？
确定。
他们是谁啊？
Yeah,
8年前一个案子的凶手，就想恶作剧报复，点燃了网吧后门的杂物，最终造成网吧老板在内的19人死亡。
Damn, that's intense. But okay, so it's a cold case that, maybe not a cold case, but like a old case coming back. It's not one that we'd already seen because it was like, am I supposed to know these people?
这个黑色装钱的帆布包，就是这2个人拿给董一丹的。他们离开的路线与沈老师还原的地点也可以对应得上，所以这2个人很可能就是。
No. Don't just prove them, quote unquote, right. Sir, this is the thing that got you guys in trouble the first time on.
你放下。我孩子的魂魄在我眼前飘来飘去的，是你们现在让我无法。警察，别打了。
Why are they the ones being held back instead of the people who were trying to assault them? I get that they're criminals, but one crime does not correct another.
我求你们，别过来帮忙。要身上仅有的50块钱，然后就。 拿来给我买吃的。
Somehow I'm not buying that you would risk going back. So maybe I'm being rash, but you would be the first person I would exclude from being likely to be the killer unless he's putting on a serious act.
那董一丹的电脑主机是不是你们拿的？
不是。上完照片我们就走了。
Oh, damn. This is complicated.
5万块钱不是小数目，你们怎么拿得出来？
Fair question.
我东拼西凑，
做了1万多，1万多。
Okay, well that's not really answering how.
他不仅没有怪我，还帮我们筹钱。
警察同志，
整件事情跟芳芳没有关系。
I mean. I'm not 100% sure that she's as innocent as everyone's telling us.
阮芳，
我录音了，我可以去报警。
我知道你住在哪儿，也知道你那俩相好的小瘪三儿住哪儿。
I find that interesting, the comment he just made about her having the option to sell herself, considering the injury to the groin and the mention that there were traces of sex having happened on that bed recently.
他猥亵我，还拍了我的裸照。
How? By stalking you?
你为什么不选择反抗？
我有罪，我曾经犯过错。
Wait, hold on, what? What was that question,
你为什么不选择反抗？
I'm very unclear about where on the scale it's falling. And because of that, I'm unclear about Du Cheng's question in return. Because the question either doesn't make sense or Du Cheng is stupidly asking why she didn't resist someone trying to have sex with her.
黄涛3人的手机线号、活动范围和时间跟口供一致，他们没有撒谎。
他是当年火灾
That's
受害者的
interesting.
家
I
属，
didn't
他有个老
expect
公
them
叫
to
王浩。
be cleared so firmly.
你们俩去趟宋敏杰家里，排查点线索。
好。
好。啊，对，
What are you thinking, Sunwei?
可以把他们放了。
Sunwei,
明白。
我就是想知道他们现在的住址。
知道他们的住址，想干什么？
不干什么。
That's the
我们就是想知道他们的现状，哪怕知道他们过得不好，我们也能心安。
找到了吗？
I find that very hard to believe.
董一蛋就是一无赖。你去过董一蛋的事务所吧？
我就是找他退钱去的，他提供的消息都没有用。
I mean, that is an interesting concept. If he profited off the death of all of these people by telling their families that he had clues and evidence that could maybe help them in some way, that'd be very interesting. Like, if he was actually a con artist, that opens up a lot of people to have potentially killed him out of sheer anger.
我们在现场找到了一支录音笔，里面有一段音频，你听一下。
Yeah, you maybe don't want to listen to that on speaker. Oh, I think she knows what she's about to hear. That must be so awkward to keep that on your phone. I hope that's a work phone, because otherwise it'd be even worse if you have to keep it on your personal.
你是说，董一蛋强迫你？
是我的丈夫。
Yeah, weirdly enough, I kind of wondered about that. If she was being used as like a bargaining chip between the two of them. But the way she spoke about it makes me doubt what she's saying.
没人能够理解。我收起来了，我想整理整理。不管怎么样，咱俩的日子。
The thing is, I'm trying to figure out, is he trying to trap them in the past because he can't move on? Or is it a thing of, oh, he is scared to lose her as well, so she's not allowed to go out, because what if something happens to her? Because I feel like this kind of trauma can manifest in vastly different ways.
也得好好过，是吧？咱得往前看。
I feel like if he's trapped in the past, it would make more sense why, if they maybe run out of money, he'd be willing to subject her to something like selling her body for
一件事情你都做不好吗？
我不知道为什么就那么困。我有罪。
Because how were you supposed to know that it would be the one day that would make you regret it for the rest of your life?
我觉得你有罪的话，你把害死咱们儿子那3个小杂种找出来，都杀了，你赎罪，你赎罪呀
！Sir, maybe go see a therapist and stop taking out your pain on other people.
我想自我毁灭，也是一种赎罪吧。
The thing is, you didn't actually do anything wrong.
不行，他一定会跟着我。我希望他冲进来把我杀了。
That's so ridiculous and sad. And what frustrates me listening to this is, as of yet, and maybe we're about to get the reveal that he stormed in and he attacked the guy that died instead of attacking her, and she wasn't expecting that. But if he technically had nothing to do with this, like, for example, if he were to be the driving force of her killing that guy or her killing the kids, he'd get off scot-free because he didn't technically do anything. How would you prove that he instigated her in a sense? And that just annoys the hell out of me, because people like that do need to see consequences to their actions, but there's no like laws, I think, that would hold them accountable.
你离开的时候，董一蛋还活着，有人能证明吗？
他送我出来打车，司机应该看见他了。
昨天上午8点到11点，
王
浩在哪儿
？The driver somehow.
那你最后一次见他在什么时候？
昨天晚上，我们已经很久没有正常说话了。
Fair. But that doesn't make things easy.
我们想看一看家里的一些生活用品，您不介意吧？
请别。
Well, at least she's quite cooperative, which I feel like adds to her potential innocence. Oh, right, because they need to find the weapon that was used to stab him. did the investigator and the wife go and do a pottery activity together, or what? Are you about to put your life in danger again? Because you have a knack for that.
画像师？
就是画画的，但我对陶艺不太了解，知道你开了一家陶艺馆。
Says the person who can do like really good clay sculptures of people's faces, so that someone can use that as reference for what someone actually looks like. But sure, let's say that you're bad at pottery, because fair enough, maybe there's quite a bit of difference with working with clay in a solid shape versus a more finely formed shape that's required for mugs and things like that. I've only ever done pottery. I haven't ever worked with clay in the way that he has.
过来学一学。
没问题，我去准备泥料，你随便看看。
But that does put her back onto the suspicious radar.
这个陶瓷碎片的中心是不是少了点什么？看上去支离破碎的，仿佛要逃离。
Oh no, did you hit so close to home?
现在是不是要好很多了？逃不了了。
Ma'am, that is not a normal response to someone asking about a creation that you made. It feels either threatening, unhinged, or like you're trying to cover up for whatever was originally there that you used as a weapon and now don't want people to realize is missing. She's not really good at instructing, is she? Like, she's just leaving him to his own devices. I get that with pottery, like, you kind of, as long as you have a starting point, it should be fine, but still.
就控制不好形状，如果你过于用力，就会前功尽弃。控制
Is that how
是
you
关键。
control people as well? I feel like you did that on purpose.
我知道你不是真的来找我学陶艺的。
Please tell me he told Chang where he went, because I feel like that's his biggest mistake always.
你看我做的这个，还行吗？
Yeah, the moment she was like, I know you're actually not here to learn. He's like, okay, yeah, let me fix everything and make it quite a difficult looking shape. I don't think you would be able to easily manipulate a shape into that on your first try. Shinji's life choices stress me out sometimes, okay? Oh. This man stresses me out. But I like how the show manages to direct and then kind of like redirect your attention just enough that you're not quite on even footing at any point throughout the viewing experience. So even though I do suspect her, there's enough breadcrumbs that I could still buy a reveal, should there be a reveal that happens that makes it not be her. It's very interesting because I feel like if it were to be her, it would probably be her wanting to protect her two friends who kind of like, I don't want to say went to jail in her stead, but you know, she went free while they didn't. So this is the end of part 1 of my reactions for Under the Skin. It should be 3 parts, obviously not including episode 1's reaction to the 2nd season, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. If you're still here, thank you so much. Let me know what episode has been your favorite so far. And also maybe let me know which part of the reaction was your favorite, because I can then include the comment in a short. And before I leave you guys, I just want to say a quick honest thank you to my patron and channel members once again, because without them I wouldn't be allowing myself to approach projects like these. And if you're interested in watching the uncut reactions of these, the links for the Patreon and membership will be in the description below, along with my social media and my PO box. And if you want to subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. 再见。